I'm Julie Wilkes, and welcome to my series highlighting amazing people with incredible stories. Today I'm joined by Kristen Segna, who has an inspiring story that I just wanted her to be able to share with all of you. So Kristen, come on in and join me. Thanks so much for sharing your story with us. Now Kristen has this incredible story in which her life drastically changed in a minute. So Kristen, before we start to tell your story, I want you to tell me a little bit about your life before your incident or before the day that changed your life forever.
Yes. Before that day, I was a very, very active person, participating in sports and running in like road races, half marathons, 5Ks, things like that, and triathlons. Generally, I would do about 6 or 7 triathlons per season. So I was a gym rat. I was constantly at the gym and that kind of thing.
So let's go to July 9th, 2010.
Yes.
Tell us what happened that day.
On July 9th, 2010, my boyfriend at the time and I were going rock climbing. And we hiked about a mile into the woods, and we, had to go up and down over trees and climb under trees and things like that to get where we were rock climbing. So we were pretty far into the woods. So we began rock climbing and got all of our safety equipment on and things like that. And my boyfriend went first, and then I went. And being competitive, I started the first time, and I made it about halfway, but that just wasn't good enough for me, so I went the second time, and that's when I fell. I had made it to the top, but I fell. And what happened was basically my safety equipment pinned me to the rock and shattered my leg. And I'm told, I don't remember this part, but I'm told that it sounded like a tree falling in the woods. It was shattered so badly. So my boyfriend had to lower me down, and my leg was bending between the knee and the ankle, so we knew it was pretty bad. So he scooped me up honeymoon style to try to take me out of the woods, and it was just treacherous, right, with the fallen trees and the rocks, and we were sort of down in a valley or a crag, and there was no way he was going to get me out. And so he had to run and go get cell coverage because we were so deep into the woods that there was no cell coverage at all. So I laid there for what seemed like, hours till I could hear the sirens, and thinking, I was laying there all by myself in the woods and thinking to myself when I heard the sirens, thank goodness, someone's going to get me out of the woods. I'm laying there and I'm watching my legs swell, just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and I knew it was bad. It wasn't a compound fracture, so it was swelling from the inside. It was turning purple and that kind of thing. It took them about 3.5 hours to rescue me out of the woods.
Wow.
And with a chainsaw, they were cutting trees down as they were coming in and going out, because they came in with an ATV type of vehicle, and it was just a footpath, and so they had to cut the trees down to get the vehicle in to get me out. And there were 25 people approximately total to get me out of the woods. And once they got me out of the woods, then loaded me on the helicopter, and I went to the hospital.
Wow. That's an incredible story already, but it gets better. So, Kristen, you get to the hospital, and the doctors tell you what?
Yeah, I got to the hospital, and the doctors tell me that, first of all, that I'm very lucky that I'm even there, because it could have, I could have had a head injury or a spinal cord injury. But they tell me that that swelling was compartmental syndrome, and basically that's strangling the life out of my leg. And that I needed to prepare myself to wake up without the lower half of my leg.
So they told you in all reality, would likely lose your leg.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't, then there was going to be some severity to it, some great damage.
Yes, it was shattered so badly that they, I kept begging them. I begged the doctor, please save my leg. Not only is it important to me, but I'm a runner and I'm a triathlete, and I want to be able to do those things again. And he said, I'm going to do what I can, but I can't guarantee, you did a number on your leg, basically.
All right, so you wake up and you still have your leg, and the doctor tells you that they're able to save it, and then you go through a few weeks of being in the hospital, going through recovery. What's the first thing you do when you get out of the hospital?
Well, the first thing I said when I came out of surgery was, when can I run? Because that's just who I am. And, you know, the doctor laughed at me. But when I came home, I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and actually the risk of amputation was for 1 week while I was there. So I had 3 surgeries, totaling about 10 hours or so. And I get home from the hospital, and the first thing I do is, work out. Obviously, I can't run, and I can't do all the things that I used to be able to do. But, I was in a wheelchair, and I was doing upper body moves and wheeling it around and trying to get my heart rate up and that kind of thing. So.
And I can testify to this because I'm her trainer, and she came with our training group, and in her wheelchair did the same things that the rest of the girls were doing on their legs, and she was consistent. She showed up every week, and she was more motivated probably than any of us to just get out there and get it done. So it was an amazing story. So now, fast forward a year and a half, later. Tell us what you've done since then.
Since the accident, I put in a good 2 to 3 days a week of physical therapy because I was just hell bent on getting back to 100%. I'm not 100%, but the 2 to 3 days a week of physical therapy really helped me. And I'm now running. I've run a couple 5Ks. I just did my first half marathon. And in August, I did my first sprint triathlon. So, it's
amazing.
I'm really very, very. I'm proud of myself because I beat the odds. My doctor said that I could possibly walk with a limp. I might run with a limp, and those kinds of things. But I just was determined to not let that be my story.
That's right. That's right. And so, as people are watching today, maybe they can't identify with crashing into a rock and shattering their leg. I hope you can't. But we can all identify with hitting rock bottom or going through a really challenging time in our life in which we don't know how to get back up. So what would you tell to people on how to find that strength, or what is it that's most important to you in just getting right back up?
I think that I was really lucky. I learned a lot of lessons in the course of the year that it took me to recover. And I think the biggest thing that I learned about myself and that I can tell other people is that we're really lucky that, we each have our own story, but we're really lucky that we get to write it. We get to write our own story, and the ending depends on you. That each page that you write, it just depends on you and your motivation, your determination. And anything is possible. You just have to go for it. You have to go get it.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Incredibly inspiring words from an incredibly inspiring person who's changed my life, and I hope has touched and changed your life in amazing ways as well. So it starts today, and it's your story to write. How will you write it? The beginning, the middle, and the end. It all matters. So here's to an amazing day filled with inspiration, joy, and motivation. Make it a great day.